Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking courtroom episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, today we're going to be traveling down once again to Georgia, to witness a very popular rapper by the name of Cash Out get sentenced for his crimes. And when the judge says that your crimes are diabolical, I'm pretty sure that Georgia Railroad is on his way. But of course, before we witness the sentencing, I'll break down everything on why he's in there to begin with. Now, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave, and check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, it says Atlanta rapper Cash Out received a sentence after being convicted in Fulton County, Georgia. He was convicted on multiple severe criminal charges following a month-long trial. And look, Fulton County, their jail is probably one of the worst in the country if you were to ask me. It continues saying the prosecution proved that Cash Out used his failing music career to pivot towards street-level exploitation, generating far more income from human trafficking than he ever did from his music. His official convictions include rape, violating the Georgia RICO Act, sex trafficking, aggravated sodomy, aggravated assault, pimping, pandering, keeping a place of prostitution, battery, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. That's a long ladder of smoke, my friends. Man, oh man, I'm glad I'm not in his shower shoes today. Actually, he's probably in some tennis shoes, man. Gotta stay strapped up in old Fulton County. But man, these are some of the worst crimes you could possibly have. It says the jury acquitted him on 2 specific trafficking counts and found him not guilty on felony aggravated assault. He was also ordered to register as a convicted sex offender. Oh, man. But it says that victims testified that they were routinely beaten, whipped with firearms, and forced to ingest drugs if they refused to perform or failed to meet financial quotas. Jeez, and I thought those speeding quotas were bad them officers try to pull on us every month. I'm just playing. I heard that's actually a myth. But when it comes down to Cash Out's situation, it ain't. One survivor recounted an incident where Cash Out fired gunshots indoors to terrorize her into compliance. Victims were forced to hand over 100% of their earnings from commercial sex advertisements, which Cash Out used entirely to fund his personal lifestyle. Now this is wild. It says the case was heavily defined by the fact that it was a family-run ring. His mother, Linda Smith, known as Mama Cash Out, helped manage the finances and handled the online logistics. His cousin, Tyrone Taylor, acted as enforcement, using physical intimidation to ensure the women did not run away or pocket any money. Prosecutors introduced thousands of text messages downloaded from 8 different cell phones. These texts documented the coordination, scheduling, and active management of the victims. Investigators showed bank statements tracking a high volume of consecutive cash deposits, ranging from 500 to 900 at a time. Bank and digital records directly linked Cash Out and his mother to purchases on Backpage. Damn, that thing still exists? I remember covering stories on that back in '92. A now defunct classified site heavily used for prostitution ads. Wow, man, oh man, who would have guessed? As well as a Cash App account under the name Linda Smith Mama Cash. Now Tyrone Taylor, his cousin, remember he was the enforcer? He was sentenced to life in prison plus 70 years. Linda Smith, the mother, was sentenced to 30 years in prison for managing the group's logistics and finances. And now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're going to witness Cash Out speak to the judge before he hears his sentence. Will he get less than what his cousin got, life plus 70? Or will he get more? Let's find out. Alright, here we go. And like I said, the defendant's going to speak before he gets sentenced.
So before I ask the court for what I'd like to ask the court to do, can I have my client address the court?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
What would you like to stand?
Good morning today, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to, sit there and judge someone's life. it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. But the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things. I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, show remorse to, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is.
Oh, I guess they're blurring out their names for some reason.
Not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me, and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women.
Oh, no.
Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice, before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice, before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cash Out, or to put the blame on someone who's at the top. That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision.
But look, this is the consequences when you bring a bunch of people into the mix of some dirty jobs. Illegal jobs, right? So you don't think that if they get caught up, they ain't gonna try to save their own ass these days? It don't matter who you are and what kind of friends you might know. Killiest of the killers, it doesn't matter. People still gonna drop dime to stay the hell out of prison. That's just how the game goes. That's why, I say all the time, I learned at a young age to do things by my damn self. And then I learned later on not to do any kind of illegal things, period. But he's definitely not apologizing to the victims. It sounded more along the lines like it was all agreed upon type of activities, and it probably would have kept on going if someone didn't get caught. And that's not what the judge wants to hear. They want to hear that you're apologetic and taking full responsibility for your actions. Anything other than that, you're looking at possibly getting a little bit more time.
Decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault for doing the things she did with her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations, because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me, or you can't do this. Every woman you seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own. During this trial, I was able to see.
Keep in mind, someone could come back willingly out of fear as well. I'm just trying to show y'all different lights to what he said. That's it.
How valuable life is, and how valuable the people that you hang around, or the people that you even date, or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from, it's baffling. Never forced a woman to commit a sexual act. I've been traveling all around the world from here to Dubai, and you would never hear a woman say that I forced them to do anything sexual or commit a rape with anybody. I don't hang around people that do things of that nature.
He said all the people that showed up that knows nothing about him, it baffled him. But he's a rapper, if I were to guess, entertaining people across the world, all the way to possibly Dubai. And he's baffled that randoms are showing up at the courtroom? Not me, I would've been like, damn, I thought there'd be more than this in here.
I feel like, and somebody asked me this the other day, it was like, every time I see your head high, you always smiling, because when you have that confidence, it takes me back to the Bible. When you have that confidence and you know you can be falsely accused of things, Jesus was falsely accused, a lot of the prophets were falsely accused. You don't have that emotion like you've done something. You know, so if you see me with my head high, or if you see me smiling, it's because I know at the end of the day, through Jesus Christ, the Most High will always give you the actual judgment. So I really thank you for providing us a fair trial. Just me getting to know you during trial, I was like, you know, she's just the judge. But when you sit 12 people in that panel and you know, have them, you know, judge our lives and, you know, put them in a position to judge our lives, you know, it takes you back to, once again, the Bible, when people had to judge these prophets' lives. And I say, if you know me, you actually know me. There's plenty of people that know me in this world. There's plenty of people that know me in this jail. There's plenty of people that know me where I'm from. Like I say, once again, I'm not perfect. I come from certain areas. I come from, you know, certain environments. I come from doing things in my past life before the music. But I'm here to tell you that if you sat in this trial and you paid attention to this trial, before these dates, no woman could ever say, I done those things to them. Before these dates, you can go on my Instagram and see these women enjoying themselves, having their own things, living their own life. Before these dates, I can say you had these women that never had anything to say about me. Before this indictment, before the RICO, you had these women actually talking to me while I was incarcerated. I've been incarcerated for 4 years, and these women are interacting with me. These women who took the stand and supposedly scared of me, or monsters, or I'm a monster, or took these proffers. This wasn't the case before they was indicted. So from my perspective, I feel like some people can get bullied into a situation that they really don't really want to do. And I'm sitting here just holding my head high and just, you know, feeling that one day the truth will come out. One day the truth will come out on my situation. One day the truth will come out on this rape allegation, that these things never happened. And when you see a person get up on that stand and put their hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that means you have to be perfect, like you're Jesus. You have to be perfect on that stand. You can't show a flaw. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one for me, because I had flaws in my life. So you have to tell the complete truth on that stand. And I got up there and see people put their hand on that Bible and not tell the complete truth. And that's baffling. But at the end of the day, I put my trust in the Most High. I put my trust in the universe to bring out the truth. To bring out the truth of these people who made these allegations.
Look, you know, I understand where he's coming from, especially if, you know, all these victims and stuff were interacting with them and still keeping close contact before they got indicted. But that's like all hearsay. I don't know exactly if that's true or not. But this is the thing. He's dealing with illegal activities. And when you deal with illegal activities, you got to be ready for the downfall, because chances are 99.9% of them is going to get caught up. That's a fact. So all you young buck gangsters out there that might be watching this one, or old heads still stuck in your old ways, it's time to change them starting today. Stop committing crime and start fighting crime. I'm just playing, man. Don't go out there like Batman and Spider-Man or nothing. What I'm trying to say here is just follow the law and work a 9 to 5, man. That slow money is still good, you know, but some people just can't do it.
It's like you have no heart. You have no heart. And I know people want me to stay in line or walk a toe, but when you speaking something truthfully and you speaking from the heart, and you know that this is not your character, something must be said. And I just wanted to address the court and give my perspective on the things that I felt during this trial and the judgment that I felt that the jurors gave us was not the correct judgment.
During the course of this trial, the court heard and viewed evidence demonstrating the very worst of human behavior toward other human beings. The jury verdict in this case reflects that the state met its burden in proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the diabolical conduct of the defendants occurred. The sentencing to be meted out by this court will be responsive to that. Mr. John Michael Hakeem Gibson, would you please stand? Okay.
Here we go, Bobo.
On count one, violation of the Georgia RICO Act, 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 10. On count 10, rape. Life in confinement.
Ooh. Life plus 20.
Count 12, aggravated sodomy. Life in confinement to run concurrent with count 10.
So still just one life plus 20.
Count 22, trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 1.
Jesus. Life plus 40.
Count 23, trafficking a person for sexual servitude. 20 years to serve in confinement to run consecutive with count 22.
And that's the story of old Cash Out. The video actually ended, but he did end up getting life plus 70, just like his cousin. Not to mention his mother went down for 30 years, and that's, you know, at her age could be a life sentence as well. And I don't think people really understand that. Once you turn like 40, 50, man, you commit certain kind of felonies, it could be your last days walking the earth as a free person. Luckily for me, I learned the majority of my lockup lessons at a very young age. Hopefully these episodes help other people learn as well. I said it once and I'll say it again, not all money is good money, and slow money is typically the safest money. But is this the end of old Cash Out? I don't know, man. You know, these days in the courtroom when appeals go through, he could be walking the streets and become a more popular rapper than he's ever been. I'm out of here though, ladies and gentlemen. I'm traveling for the night. Might make a little vlog out of it because I'm going somewhere special. So stay tuned for that, not to mention the plethora of lockup and crime related content coming your way. And the only way to be sure that you don't miss it is by hitting that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And more importantly than anything, y'all gotta be easy, be safe, and stay free.